All right.
I'm Pat.
I'm Jeffrey.
And no, I don't like lamb.
Okay.
It's too lean. It's very, I mean, it's just like you can tell whenever you have lamb in something.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
you like veal, right?
Feels fine. It's nothing wrong with it. I gotta tell you, I wouldn't pick it. It wouldn't be one of the first things I go for at a
Right,
restaurant
yeah,
that serves
sure.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so anyway, I made like shepherd's pie, but cottage pie.
Okay.
So, and I got accused of using lamb,
That's
but I
weird.
didn't.
I don't think
Yeah.
lamb has a really unique taste to it, man. There's, at least to me, there's something just a little bit like soapy in it.
Oh, that's a good way to put that.
There's something
Yeah.
weird. There's a flavor to it that says this is lamb and nothing else. I don't know how anybody could confuse it for any other kind of meat. It has its own flavor, man.
So how is that different than veal? Veal just like tastes really clean.
It yeah, I guess that's the best way to say it.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
it does. It
Less
does.
soapy.
Kind of,
Got
yeah.
less Clorox in it. Yeah.
Wouldn't be gross about it. Yes, you're absolutely right. No, you're correct. I mean, there's still, and you know what? The texture is different. The texture is
It's really soft.
very different. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I think you'd fuck around if somebody just said like, "All right, well, here are two cuts of meat. Tell me which one veal is." I think anybody would be able to tell the difference.
Okay. Yeah.
And then if you saw the price, you're like, "Oh, this definitely."
Well, no, and that's why I didn't do it.
Yeah.
So, because the price was like $10 more. Yeah.
Meat's expensive, dude.
Meat is expensive.
Like, I think
So,
so. My brother's a genius on this. He does like shop around a little bit. Like he puts up his like circular detector and he just like browses. He's like, "There's a meat sale somewhere," and then he just goes and cleans them out. Which is just that's very much like my mother.
okay.
But I would never do that because it's like, well, I need meat now,
Right.
so I'm gonna go to the store. I'm gonna
Yeah.
buy what they have.
Yeah.
I will pay the price that they ask.
Okay.
End of transaction.
So, what kind of cuts of meat do you actually buy?
As of this point, not much. I tend
No?
to what I
Doing
buy
ground
is
beef or
I do more chicken than anything else.
okay.
I do more chicken than anything else. I slow cook it. I make because all right, this whole in the past few months, my delving into food has been more along the like the RFK line in terms of like I've never really given much thought to like what goes into Doritos, but there's a lot. There
Well,
is.
yeah, there's a lot of like sawdust in it.
Ton of
Yeah,
sawdust,
yeah.
yeah, and it's foreign sawdust too, which is the worst part, man.
Brazilian
It's,
sawdust.
it's not American sawdust. I don't need it.
Right, if it doesn't come from like Wisconsin.
But there's this came up in a discussion a few weeks ago when I was on a call with the Russians. I was like, they were talking about like American food and stuff. And I said, let me show you a chart, and I showed them the chart of basically like American obesity, right? Where it's
Pretty
now
bad.
it's over 4 in 10 adults.
I saw that the other day.
Yeah, the UK's not that far behind, but they're at
Mexico isn't that far behind either now.
Great Britain leapfrogged Mexico.
Okay.
I didn't think that was possible, but they did. But they're both at about 3 in 10, right?
Okay.
And if you go back from like 1990 to now,
So is the U.S. the fattest nation out there?
of the G7 countries, I believe that there's a Middle Eastern nation that is right on pace with us,
Okay.
but I don't remember who.
Yeah, because I saw something that wasn't even 4 in 10; it was like 6 in 10 of American like males between the ages of like 22 and 44 are now considered obese.
I haven't looked at it by age demographic, just
Okay.
as far as adults. I wouldn't be surprised. I also
So what
wouldn't.
is it? Is it meat or is it sugars?
Well, it's hard to say. All right. The weird thing about this is, and again, I hadn't considered any of this before. I was like, all right, what I can say is there is a difference in total calories consumed compared from, say, 2024 to like 1960.
Well,
And
yeah, sure. Yeah.
how much of a difference do you think it would be?
Oh, at least 100%.
Oh, well, no, because that would be like 2,000 to 4,000.
Well, like calories?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's about
I would guess it was at least double.
it's not double,
Okay.
but it is significant. It's about 800 calories extra per day.
What's the base?
For them, it was around like 1,900 to 2,000, and
Well, the baseline calories.
that is the baseline calories.
What, 800 a day?
No, no, no. This was a comparison from what people consumed back in like 1960 versus right now.
So it's double.
No, it's not double. It was about 2,000 to about 2,800.
Okay. All right.
So an increase of about 800. And again, 2,000 is about what's recommended per day.
Well, that's still a 60% increase. Yeah.
Right, right.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
Well, yeah. Well,
If
no,
I'm doing the math right.
you're not. You're not, because if it's 2,000 and it jumps to 2,800, that's not 60%. Because
Well, no, it's about
50% would be
40%.
yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
But it's a lot, right?
Sure.
So you have that, but then there's also the question of, does it also matter about what is going into this? Don't know.
Right.
Don't know. They can't say for sure. But I did take stock of like how many things I was eating that do have a lot of extra stuff in them, and it's like, all right, well, let me reevaluate this. Let me try to focus on trying to eat a little bit more naturally.
So is most of it like preservatives and stuff like that?
Preservatives, dyes,
Yeah.
things like that.
Okay.
Again, I don't know the full science of this.
I don't either.
I will let the current administration figure this out. That's
Or
their
the
job.
future administration.
Future. That's true. Yeah, that's true. These guys are doing a lot of talk for not having served day number one. So
Yeah.
it's one thing to show up at fucking UFC fights and look tough, and you guys haven't actually served the day.
Oh God. Jake Paul. Yeah.
Did you watch the fight?
No, I didn't watch the
did.
fight, but I did watch the actual like recaps of it.
It's pretty weak.
Yeah, exactly.
It was pretty, I watched it.
No, nobody's actually getting credit for doing that.
It wasn't. It
Yeah.
wasn't that exciting. The undercards were great, but the actual.
That's what I heard, but no, I wasn't gonna like sign up for Netflix just to watch that.
No, and I didn't.
Okay.
I have to admit, I did not pay to watch that fight, but I did watch it.
Was it a complete stunt?
It wasn't a stunt. It's just there was. I gotta give Tyson credit for this. All right, so the what it is it's sort of an indictment against heavyweight boxing in and of itself, right? The for the most part, there are some real stars in there. I've seen them fight. Triple G and guys like that. There are some good fighters in there, but it is not what it used to be. It just isn't. The fact that Tyson is still probably the biggest name in heavyweight boxing.
Actually, that's kind of condemning.
It absolutely
Yeah,
is.
got it.
I mean, that's not to say. So there was another period where like the George Foreman resurgence, right? When he returned to the game, it's like great boxing in there. There was still some heavy hitters. I don't know if there's anybody that punched heavier.
20 years ago.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. Well, we're talking about like the '92 post Tyson era, so right?
Right,
So
when you actually
Holyfield.
paid for the HBO up card.
Yep.
Yeah.
So this is the Holyfield, Riddick Bowe.
Right.
Uh,
I remember Riddick Bowe.
he's fine. He's a good boxer.
Yeah, sure.
And like the
But you
George
paid
Foreman
for
era.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
those were all pay-per-view fights. Yeah, but
Yeah, but there was no 30-year age gap there.
no,
No.
it was just well because back then it's like dude, he's in his 40s. It's like, are you crazy? And then fucking Tyson's up
Right.
there. Like again, I gotta give him credit. He was moving pretty decently for somebody that's 58. But dude,
He's 58.
58. Yeah, he's 2 years away from 60. So I'm like, what am I gonna go ahead and shit on this guy um for not going crazy? Because there was I had a suspicion when he was going at it. He went a little bit too hard in the first 2 rounds, right?
Against Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He
okay.
went a little bit hard in the first 2 rounds, and I think he
He's
gassed
trying to
himself.
blast him out.
Yeah, and these were 2 minute
Yeah.
rounds too. And so what I thought he was doing was I thought he was going to try and basically save a little bit of gas for like round 7 and 8,
He's just fucking blast him out.
and just try to put him in the corner because that's the thing. He's a shorter guy, right? And I thought he was going to try.
Oh,
to
yeah,
put him.
he is shorter than Jake Paul. Yeah.
And so I thought he was just going to try and put him in the corner then, and then basically tire him out for the middle stretch. Because I have to give Tyson credit. He can still dodge exceptionally well, right? His movement has always been good. His lateralness, his unders and everything's like, this is crazy. The thing that he used to be able to do so well was with his ducking dodges, right? He used to have a maneuver where part of that was the dodge and then the step in, right? The step in counter punch. And he just was not doing that. That used to be his like one of his signature moves because he went against bigger guys all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I just wasn't
Shit,
seeing.
man. I remember seeing Holyfield a couple weeks after that fight. He was out the Broadmoor and checked out at the curb.
Oh.
He had the fucking patch on his
I
ear.
bet he did,
Yeah,
yeah.
he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a weird fight too. That was, if you go back on it, a
I
lot of
remember that.
yeah, a lot of that comes from Holyfield's
Like,
like
what, 95? 94?
oh boy,
96? Somewhere in there.
it's got to be, yeah.
Yeah.
It's got to be, yeah. And
And that was probably Tyson's last heavyweight fight.
no, he had a resurgence after that. He came back for he did have about like 10 fights about 10 years ago, maybe actually a little bit ago.
Okay, I don't remember that. Yeah.
Like mid 2000s, and
Okay.
he
Is it 20 years ago?
I know.
Yeah, I know.
And the thing was, he put down a lot of chumps, but
He did.
he looked good.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I remember that Holyfield fight. Holyfield has always been a hugger, all right, and so
Yeah.
that's how he really put that slow down on Tyson. That's why Tyson actually got fucking aggressive. Is in the hug.
Right.
That's where he got headbutted a couple of times. Said, "I'm gonna fucking chomp this guy's ear." I'm like,
Yeah.
yo, dude,
I
that's
remember
not how you escalate. You getting headbutted means that you punch balls. That's the retaliation.
You punch down, not
You
fight up.
go,
Yeah,
you go for a straight up low blow, man. You make him pay that way, but so yeah, that was weird.
Now I remember that. Holyfield was at the Broadmoor for like something, stint of time or something like that, but he still had the patch.
I believe it.
Yeah, he did. And that guy was huge.
What's weird is he's huge, but he's still not like. There are still boxers bigger than him,
Well, yeah.
which is always.
Well, he
weird.
wasn't Steve Young huge.
Steve Young, what 6'6", something
I
like
don't
that.
know, man, but he was at the airport. He was the biggest man that I mean, I've met Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Stone Cold was like 6'3", I think. I think he's.
Yeah, Steve Young was bigger than he was.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I will say that Stone Cold is wider than Steve Young.
Yeah, probably.
But just
Yeah.
on the basis of the workout, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. But that was like 5 years after I met Steve Young. So
It is sometimes, Patrick, it is amazing to see the range of human sizes.
oh, it's bananas.
Almost to the point where you're like, I'm not sure we're all the same species.
I don't know, man. I got guys like in my classes who are on the football team. And even like you'll have like really tall, skinny guys,
Yeah.
and it's just not in the same like
Uh-uh.
class of some other guys who
Those
are like two,
basketball
3 inches
guys,
shorter than them, but way more hulked out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's weird. It's like
totally weird.
shit.
Yeah.
It's like I saw this picture of our guy, the guy that lives here, Brian Shaw.
Oh yeah.
And he was like shaking hands with actual like bodybuilder as he's leaning over these dudes that are huge. And Shaw's got you've seen him. He has that monster physique. He's got that
Yeah.
He's not like the big like fat strong man that we used to know.
No.
But he's also not he ain't no thin guy either.
Well, he ain't cut. So he's just big.
Yeah, and it's all working muscle. Well, you knew a guy like that, didn't you? Like,
oh fuck yeah.
Wasn't that crazy guy that used to pull train cars?
Yep. Yeah, and he'd sit down in that chair and like he's just dude. But then he'd stand up and like unfold like a fucking transformer.
It's wild. You're like, I didn't know they made humans like this, dude.
Yeah,
It's
exactly. You go out there and just Hulk out train cars.
just a fucking different breed.
Yeah, he was a different breed. Yeah.
Was it?
All he ate was like potatoes and Salisbury steak, too.
I was gonna say, like, didn't that dude go through like 20 hamburger patties a day or some shit?
It was all hamburger patties.
Yeah.
Yeah, and actual like just potatoes. Like most people mash them, boil them,
Stick him in a soup.
roast them. He would just munch on them like apples.
I'm with you, dude. I think
He was
I
a
think
different breed. He was a different breed, though. Yeah. Yeah, but he would unfold himself out of a chair.
That's so wild, man.
Yeah.
And that's the crazy thing. This is the same, like, remember when they used to show the videos of like the damn it, who was the super swimmer guy
Phelps?
before him? No, not Phelps. 'Cause so there's a newer guy, right?
I don't know. I haven't kept up on it.
Because yeah, there was a newer guy that cleaned house, but I think Phelps was the dude that like two Olympics ago that basically shut the door on.
Yeah, the guy just kind of like unfolded himself like a mantis.
Well, yeah, because
I know who you're talking about. Yeah,
I think that was Michael Phelps.
Yeah, that was Phelps previously.
But there's also a new stud who took home a ton of golds.
I don't know, man. I haven't watched the swimming in the last
Water
2
Olympics,
years.
yeah.
Yeah, Water Olympics. Yeah, in the last 2 years, there probably is.
I remember when they used to. One of the things they do is they'd show the Phelps diet. Do you remember that where they'd show like this is what Michael Phelps eats in a day, and there's like 3 pizzas here and
4 pounds of spaghetti.
Yeah. You're like, wow, man, like pushing the boundaries of like what humans do. This takes a lot of gas.
Yeah, but like you look at the gas and you're like, oh, that's tasty. So I could eat
But
that.
they get tired of it though. I mean,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
because when they're showing the dudes, they're like, "What are you doing?" It's like, "Well, I'm eating my 4th warming tray of spaghetti." Because they don't eat it from the bowl; they eat it from like it's like this container.
They gotta cut it like cake.
Like, so what's your thing? It's like, so I get up in the morning and I do workout number 1 for like an hour and a half. Then I eat
Spaghetti.
Do you rest afterwards? No, eating spaghetti is the rest. And then,
That's when I can breathe.
and then they go straight back into moving heavy shit. And then they come out there and
In water.
and then they come back out there and it's like, so what's this? It's like, all right, so this is now I'm gonna eat 2 chicken breasts and some brown rice, and they don't even have time for like utensils. They just pick it up and,
Yeah, exactly. It's got no sriracha.
and then they go on to the third one, and they're like, so what can you do now? It's like, all right, so now I'm gonna watch like 2 reruns of The Office, and then
Eat spaghetti.
they're like, okay, so what then? It's like, oh, I'm gonna go to sleep. During sleep, I'm gonna wake up, and then I'm gonna go do a workout. Then I'm gonna go back to bed. It's like, do you do this every day? It's like, yes.
7 days. 52 weeks a year.
I'm like, all right, so what difference does it make? And then you see what they do. You're like, all right, well, that's the difference between moving the second heaviest Atlas stone
Right.
and the first heaviest Atlas stone.
You get no achievements for it. Yeah.
And stupid people are like, why are they moving rocks? I don't
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, at least the old like the strongman competitions used to look like ridiculous. You're like, this is a dude throwing a tire up above.
This is a guy who's dragging a bulldozer.
and
That could be useful.
the only effect that it has on people at large is it makes them think that bulldozers weigh less than they actually do.
Yeah. That 747 is not as heavy as you think. Yeah.
Well, we could do that on wheels.
Yeah. I got a big old fat brother-in-law. We could do that.
Dude, you know what I'm talking about? It's the same. Like, when I pulled up the numbers the other day of, what was it? How many men thought they could take, like, a bear in a fist fight?
There's probably more than half. Which
It was close, yeah,
wrong.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was like, you jump in, you're like, well, this number should be 0. But, yeah.
It should probably be about 3 out of 100, and none of you could take a chimpanzee. Yeah.
No! Like, they're little, but they have the reach on you, man.
Well, no, they'll rip your face off. Yeah.
Rip your face off, they'll rip your fucking balls off. They're horrible little creatures. They know how to fight. They're scrappy little things, and they're the strength that they have for being so little just totally outclasses what.
No, that's when you learn what tensile strength is.
Shit.
Yeah.
Let alone you're like, all right, so if that little guy's that strong, you're like, is it in reverse? Does that mean silverback gorillas are kind of weak? The answer is no.
No, not even a little.
No, they start measuring. It's like, so how many cars could a theoretical silverback gorilla bench press? Is like how they measure it. It's like, yeah,
Yeah.
freakishly strong creatures. Yes.
Yeah. But yeah, TikTok would teach you otherwise. Yeah.
I don't think. I mean, I have made the argument like I could take like a little one. Like every now and then they show
Like a baby chimp.
like a baby chimp. Like every now and then they show. There's.
You'd have to grow your nails out a little bit and stuff.
Grow your nail. I mean, you'd have to. All right.
You have to sharpen your teeth.
The thing is, do you get? You have to say like, all right. Well, do I get to use my ancestral achievements, i.e.,
Spears.
guns?
Guns. So I get to use firearms. Yeah.
Look, if the truth is, if we didn't, develop the way we did, yes, we would have been like bigger and stronger versions of ourselves because those are the ones that survived,
My
right?
guns are better.
You're right. So,
Right, yeah.
No, I get it.
We
It's
do
like,
only get one FPV drone. Yeah.
now, okay, now we're talking about droning the shit out of a chimpanzee. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, it's just that it is that misconception. I will say, like, every now and then you'll see that video of like some guy or a woman. They're like, oh, and I saw this, this stray dog, right? So I took it, and it's actually a wolf, and it's the size of like,
It's a dire wolf.
yeah, well, you get it, and it's the size of like
It's like
an
a normal
SUV.
wolf, but dire.
The same thing that's yeah, I saw the one where this woman she's like, there was a stray cat outside. I took it in. It's a puma.
Right, yeah.
And when it's about this big, it still looks like a cat.
Kind of.
And that's when I could take it.
After that, it'll like clamp your larynx.
Yeah. Or they do have those ones. There are some like hippos that are actually small. One.
Any hippo bigger than your dog or like even a little bit smaller would not be welcome in my house. Yeah.
I mean, if you had a big yard or something, like maybe. But
If that a feeding trough.
Dude, hippos are also not indigenous to semi-arid climates. It's
Right.
we should return them to where they belong.
Sure.
They're not in. They fuck up the wildlife.
I think they fuck up anything.
Yeah, that's true. They have a place. They're where hippos are what? Just they're mostly like Africa, and is there any other?
Just Africa.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense that they compete against that wildlife.
Crocodiles. Yeah.
They fuck them up too.
Yeah. We live in the same pond, but you guys live over there.
Right.
And if you guys bring down something big, we're coming over.
That is correct. So you better eat it fast. Yeah.
Yeah. But then again, if watermelons fall in, holy those.
As they do.
Whatever.
Maybe we're thinking of the wrong jungle here. I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Am I thinking of the right Africa where there's like one tree,
Right.
a lot of
Yeah.
miles, and then the other one?
Yeah. No. It's the one where they eat wildebeests. Yeah.
I understand that there's a lot of Africa that is just hell to live in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That's why the people live behind walled cities. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't know how to go about fixing it either. I wouldn't know. Like, I'm not that
There's
kind
no
of.
fixing it. It just is. You know, you don't build a city there.
What do you do about like trade routes and stuff then?
Bridges.
Bridges? Would you? Is the solution? I mean, because we're picturing the same space here. We're talking about the sub-Saharan
The
area,
Congo.
right? Do you also just like use watercraft around it for your trade routes? or
Yes.
what? Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Speedboats.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the bottom part is also very wonderful in terms of what the land offers, and
That's what I hear.
yeah. I'm not going there.
No. No, it's full of terrorists.
Right.
Right. Yeah.
It's cool.
It's cool.
Right here. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all right.
Not my problem.
Never will be.
No.
I have.
I've seen all the YouTube videos of them trying to jack like fucking Wells Fargo vans and stuff.
No, it's fun. I've got a lot of other vacation places first before I get to South Africa.
Sure, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Might probably involve more walkable cities and trains.
You are absolutely correct. And you know what? I got to tell you, you know what is scooting up my list of things that I want to do?
What's that?
There are Have you seen the videos where people will take those awesome, like, those trains with the beautiful sleeper cars, and you're gonna go
Oh
from...
yeah. Oh yeah. Dude, there's one in Canada that I'd love to do.
I
It's
just
like
saw that one.
$12,000.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
I want to do it because, like, when I was watching, I'm like, this seems awesome.
Yeah, but they don't serve like moose. Stuff like that.
Is that what you want?
No, that's not what I want. I want filet mignon. And they serve it.
Yeah, how much was it cost?
The Canadian train?
Yeah.
It was like 12 grand. Yeah.
I mean, it all depends on what you get on the trip, but there is something cool about that.
Well, it was all like 5-course meals and stuff like that. Yeah.
Right.
So I actually went out for an actual restaurant dinner the other night. I know.
What was that like?
It was delicious.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
Like, was this hands or was it silverware?
Silverware?
Okay.
Yeah.
Was the light dim?
No, it was good, and it had
okay.
good service. And,
All right.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
We went to this place called The Till.
I don't know that place.
Yeah. So it used to be up north, but now it's downtown. It's fantastic. I had sirloin beef tip stroganoff.
That sounds great.
It was amazing, Jeff.
Divine, huh?
It was divine. It was also $163.
Who the fuck you go with?
Oh, a couple friends.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you pay?
I paid for half of it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Okay, so yours alone was $163?
No.
The whole bill?
Me and my wife.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
So we split evenly.
Did you guys have a couple of glasses of wine or anything? Or?
No, I had an old fashioned. So
Okay, so that's $12.
yeah, the rest of it was meat.
All right.
I had to pay for the parking meter.
Are you for real?
Yeah, seriously. Yeah,
you went during the day. Huh?
Yeah, no, we went in evening on Friday night. So, but it was divine, man. And that's kind of the thing that I would expect on like a trans-Canadian fucking train.
Right.
That cost me $800 just for the ticket. So, it was amazing. So,
but that is definitely something that I wouldn't have expected to be on my vacation list, but I was like, this looks super cool.
dude, they look awesome, man. As long as you're not on Scam Track.
The only thing I ever see from them is either Scandal or Wreck. Is this?
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
We completely plowed into a fucking petroleum track.
Why was it there? Don't know.
I don't know. It's in the middle of Omaha. Whatever. Why were you in Omaha? I don't know. So
That is the only way it crosses my news feed.
yeah, no, the Canadian train looks really good. So,
And there's a couple of ones. There's a European one that looks absolutely
So
awesome.
they have the classic Orient Express that goes from Paris to Istanbul.
Tell me that does not seem like
Do they still pull it with steam trains? So
does that not have your name on it?
Oh fuck yeah! But it costs like $35,000 fucking dollars
It's
for a
that
ticket.
much?
Yeah, it's insanely expensive.
Well,
So, and they serve you like escargot stuff. It's like, can I get some fries with that?
excuse me, sir. You served me bugs. I would like to see the cheeseburger menu one more time.
Can I get barbecue sauce?
What is? Good thing I brought my own Cholula.
Yeah, I got some Tony Saturates.
Fucking insult every European out there. It's like, come there with 2 pockets full of
ketchup. Oh shit, man! Yeah, maybe it's support my coffee in a while.
Some ketchup to eat these bugs.
It's got too many legs.
It has no legs.
It's even worse.
It travels with fucking slime.
So, but no, it's like 30 grand. So,
Yeah.
so I looked at that one. I looked at the Canadian one. It's way expensive, but it's supposed to be like way fucking fancy.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But
I understand.
yeah, but you get like turn down service every day. So like actual waiters or porters who service your car. It'd be awesome, man. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's just it's the. It seems like a great way to see a lot of the country in a short period of time on a historical field of travel. I understand that there's
well, the European one, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Canada is like mostly pine trees and polar bears.
Well, you're either
No. So the European one, I mean, you go through like France, Germany, France, Switzerland, Austria, Hungary. Yeah, that'd be badass.
the
So-
like center line of history through
Exactly, yeah.
versus Canada. I mean, it's Canada. It's a beautiful place. It's just
Right.
like you cross the border and it's like it's not like you're going into the upside down of
Doesn't go into Mexico, man.
It's like, so what's so different? It's like, well, we put like gravy on our fries. Ooh, and
Okay, so that sounds pretty bad.
not going to fight you on that.
Yeah.
You and I have done that many times.
Gravy
Just
flavored ketchup. Cool.
Can I put ketchup on this too? It's like,
Put it
"I'm
on
gonna stop
everything.
you, sir."
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's not that different of a country where.
No, right, yeah.
And it's right there. All of like Canada is right there. It's right next to us.
Well, you're not like riding a luxury through gulags.
No. That's a good point. It's you go through the other, you take the European one. It's like, okay, so Hitler was here and here and here and here.
And these are the Jews that survived.
Right.
Yeah, got it.
Yeah, way better. These are the ones that lived.
Yep.
Yeah, different history. Just beautiful wilderness and that kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, those things are trains. I hadn't considered those, but I just started seeing a couple of videos of those. I'm like, God, this looks so cool.
Dude, the Canadian one actually does look legit badass. So
Well, and for $12,000 versus $35,000, I think I'd do a different trip on if I was in Europe, though. I think it's just
for $35,000, yeah, no. If I had $35,000 just to dink around with in Europe, I don't think I'd take a train trip.
I think I'd drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or take the like normie trains.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Which you can do.
Yeah, and they're a lot cheaper.
Right.
Yeah.
Their trains actually go to other countries, right?
Right.
Which I get it.
Unlike ours, which just stop in the ghettos.
As I said, it's either Scandals or Rex, and those are American trains.
Yeah. And you got
Unless they're moving
very,
stuff.
very, very spotty Wi-Fi.
Right.
Yeah.
Unless they're moving stuff, which is what they're good at
I'd
here,
have to
right?
bring my Starlink with me.
Look at the American with
You do.
Yeah. Yeah, I that. And South Africa.
See, that's why
still
I'm
not, yeah.
Oh, South Africa?
Yeah, still not on that list. I'd have to do those things twice before I went to
So
South
I might
Africa.
actually have an opportunity to go to South Africa in the next couple of years.
For what?
I have a colleague who's from South Africa. We're doing some work with her colleagues. And I'm kind of curious.
I understand that there's a lot of cool stuff there,
Yeah.
but it has problems.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I don't want to go there on my own.
Right.
Right. I want someone to say, like, no, you don't go to, like, Wyattfield.
So
Uh,
when you arrive in South Africa, you expect some dude with like a hat with one side like turned up, and he's carrying like a shotgun.
no, that's
and he's like,
Australia. Yeah, but yeah.
well, whatever. And then he's just slipping there.
It's only half a world away, but whatever. You know?
You know what? Australia sounds cool, but it's too far. It's just too far.
Australia is insanely
way
far. I do have a couple students who are Australians, and they have invited me down there, but it is fucking far.
It's fucking far.
Way far.
Things that they talk about that are different aren't enough to make me say
Like fucking manhole-sized spiders and stuff. Yeah, no.
there's that. I mean, the one thing that they talked about, that they said was so special. It turns out I can get here, and it really wasn't all that great.
Vegemite?
No, this is Australian chicken salt.
What is that?
You'd be surprised. There's no chicken in it. They don't make it with chickens, but it
Why does it say chicken salt on it then?
because evidently this is what they use to season chicken.
So it's just like super salt?
It's just different. It tastes. It
Okay, all right.
Australian chicken.
Why'd you buy that?
Because they were
YouTube? Yeah.
because there was an Australian talking about it, and somebody went there, and they're like, "Wow, I've never had this before." I want you to think about like seasoning your hot dog with a ramen packet.
I'm sorry, I can just get MSG at any
It's
Asian market
kinda,
around
you
here.
know,
Yeah.
It says there's none in there, but I mean, it's kind of, it has just a little bit of that off kilter,
The fuck is this?
like just dust. This weird kind of like flavored dust that
Okay.
again is usually reserved for ramen packets, but
It's like if you don't fire up your dryer for 6 weeks.
your house burns down.
It's just lint, you know. Yeah. Okay.
Look at stupid people. It's like, oh, this dryer is a piece of shit. It's like, why? It's like never dries my clothes. Like, did you actually check that thing?
Lint trap. Pull it out. It's like peanut butter. Yeah. Oh, I found your problem, lady.
Look, man, I'm your friend, so I'm not going to charge you $800 for this. Just do this.
Just do this every now and then.
And every now and then get the little one down here too.
Right. Yeah.
It's weird.
Yeah. So what the fuck? What's been going on in the news the last couple days?
I don't know. Let's see.
I haven't seen shit. So
No, it's mostly been. So the weird thing is that there are a couple of places still tabulating votes, which seems absolutely unreal to me.
but the house has been settled, right?
No,
Oh, really?
no, because there are places in California.
Well, they're gonna go blue. What the fuck?
Well, I mean, that's the thing. Right now, they're actually trying to flip some seats from red to blue because they're saying they haven't done all the voting. In Pennsylvania, in that Senate race, there are dudes who were given a court order to stop tabulating these votes, but they haven't. They're still doing it.
I thought they already called that for McCormick.
Again, yes, but they're still counting them. Even though they said, like, you can't count these, they're like, we're going to do it anyway. I have no idea how this works. So there's a couple of things in there where it's like, this is suspect. There's been...
Yeah, but Trump's not pulling anybody from the Senate to come to his cabinet.
No.
Yeah, okay. That's smart. The
I don't
House,
believe so, yeah.
seemed a little bit like wiggy there, but then I went back after we had the last podcast and looked at it. I was like, nah, that's fine. So
No, the weird thing, I mean, there's a couple of things that are, again, they're not, pressing things, but there are a little bit of moments of, it's really about how the dust is settling, and some people are taking perspective and some people aren't, right? Some people are...
yeah, I've seen a little bit of that with... I've seen some, like, more rational Democrat type people.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're like, hey, fuck, stop.
Right.
We're yeah. Like even AOC took down some for like pronouns and stuff like that. I saw that. Yeah.
Yep, she did.
So...
she also said it was interesting on one of her little like things, she was like, "Hey, so for all of you Trump voters, like, why don't you just send me what you?"
I did see that.
Which makes me think it's like, are you guys trying to like? You guys won't have a takeoff of alternative media like the right does,
Right.
because that exists. So we had a version of that back in the day. This is the funny thing that people forget is like, so the alternate to mainstream media in 1990 was AM radio.
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was Rush Limbaugh.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. Yep.
And this is so the podcasting sphere, it's still the reaction to that. That's the thing. That's how it evolved, right? You still have all these shitty networks that are still doing their thing, and that's you can't just invade these spaces because you're like, well, why don't we jump in? It's like, well, you guys have tons of guys have tons of
Yeah, they have.
tons of these things exist, right? But
I read an interesting piece the other day about like Harris's whole in her campaign's like whole fight against actually showing up on Rogan,
yes,
which initially it was sold that like, well, he needs to come to DC and it'll only be 1 hour, but then it was actually like some constituencies within her campaign were like, no, fuck that, you can't go on this because it's bullshit,
right.
blah blah blah, and so that came out a little bit.
You're legitimizing the platform,
Exactly.
which
Yeah.
is just absurd.
Well, totally absurd considering that episode got like 42 fucking million views.
Right.
Yeah, it's bananas. So, so there was a piece of that I saw that was going around. But on that, man, it's just been like cabinet picks and stuff like that the last couple days, which I still think are. I'm curious to see who they actually shoot down, if any of them. So
I can think of one.
Matt Gaetz.
Yeah.
I think he's actually going to make it through. So
I think so too, but I can see that one being the one that they actually do fight against.
either that or Hegsketh. So the DOD guy. So
That was just announced today? Or that
well,
was
I
a
guess it was
recent
yesterday
announcement, yeah.
about like some kind of sexual harassment thing. But the bigger thing is the whole Christian nationalist thing. So because he's definitely one of those fucking like oath keeper guys. So I mean, unless that tattoo is fake, which it might be. I don't know.
No, it's a real tattoo.
Is it?
But it has nothing to do with Christian nationalism.
No, that's totally what they do.
What,
Yeah.
that tattoo?
Yeah.
Dude, that tattoo is everywhere in Christendom.
It speaks to something a little bit larger. We'll
There
see.
is nothing tied to that tattoo that is white nationalist.
I disagree with that. So
Not in the sense that any other, Christian tattoo goes into it.
no, that one's a little bit different.
Where are you pulling that from?
I don't know, man. I've known a couple Oathkeeper guys. That's just the way they kind of go with that. It's not about the presidency. It's not about loyalty to, the United States. It's a little bit different. I don't know exactly how to put that into words, but I mean, there's a piece of that that's a little sus if you're going to actually be in charge of the DOD.
If you're getting a tattoo for that, you don't get that tattoo.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't know. That is the one thing that I saw. I actually don't mind Matt Gaetz being AG, whatever. So
No, I think he actually has a good possibility. Look, there is a fair amount. All right, there are dudes in this administration, if they get through, that I think are the right type of people to ruffle the right kind of feathers.
sure, yeah. Well, RFK Jr. is a good example of that.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Yeah.
Same thing goes with of course the border czar. That
yeah. I actually read on him a little bit. He's pretty interesting.
is pretty interesting.
uh,
there is just something incredibly entertaining to watching the way that he is absolutely fearless when it comes to
He is.
anybody that tries to call him out. He has a mission. He doesn't back down from anything he says.
No, he seems fine.
And the thing is, everything that he says has a base in basically existing law. It's not,
Well,
someone
he
that
comes from that background. Yeah. Yeah.
so there's something about, and again, like, from being a New York City policeman and stuff like that. I'm like, all right, I gotcha.
Yep.
I'm totally into this. The Marco Rubio one is still weird for me. It just like,
That one makes perfect political sense.
I think it does, but it just seems like
it does.
It's like, this does not seem like the kind of guy that you would have in your cabinet, but it is.
Come on, man. He's out of all the candidates, he's definitely the most qualified in terms of like national exposure. He's proven malleable over the years,
Right.
in terms of like how he comes at things. He's very good at interfacing with the Senate, which will be extremely important if any treaties come through.
Well, I suppose it's true.
Yeah, I'm
Does
not.
he have a lot of friends there? Is my question. Is he well liked in the Senate?
Yeah, he is.
Is he?
Yeah,
Okay.
he is. And he can bring a lot of folks together. No, and like Tulsi Gabbard, I had to look at what actually is the DNI, so to actually see what that is, and that's the position that James Clapper had before. So it's pretty influential. Not as much as the NSA chief or the CIA chief, and they don't need fucking Senate confirmation for either of those. So Trump's got his guys there. So that'll be pretty influential. We'll have to see. He hasn't done any economic appointments yet. We don't know who Treasury is yet. So that'll be a big deal. The Fed chair, what's his name?
That's a new one as of today, if I recall. Yeah.
No, he's still good for 2 more years.
Oh no, not him. I was talking the FCC.
Oh, I didn't see anything about that.
That was today, but I can't remember who it is.
Okay. All right.
But yeah, you're right.
Yeah, no, the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, he's good for 2 more years, and he said, I'm not going no fucking where. So, and that's fine. Trump will be able to work with him. SEC, FEC, those have yet to come down the pike. Treasury has yet to come down the pipe, from what I saw today. I don't know. There might be something out there that I don't know about.
Could be happening right now.
Could be happening right now. Yeah. No, he did pick his press secretary, and I don't know anything about her.
I didn't know anything about her. I've seen her. They've now shown clips of her on TV. Like, I didn't know.
Is she okay, or?
I didn't see anything that seemed.
Trump is kind of his own press secretary, so
He sort of is.
Yeah.
There was. If I'm to go back on this year, if I go back to the 2016 thing, right? To go back then, there are really 2 faces that I can remember from Trump's presidency.
Sean Spicer.
Well, it's basically him and Kellyanne Conway, and she's not a part of this. So I'm looking for somebody that has that same kind of presence.
She might be. The new one might be. I don't know. So, but she's like awfully young. But then again, like, yeah, like
So was Kayleigh McEnany. So
McEnany. Yeah, but like, so he had Huckabee Sanders in there for a while, and she was great.
She was great.
Yeah, she was great between Sean Spicer and McEnany.
Yes.
And like I've been watching Sean Spicer's show. He's great, but he's not going to be involved in the next administration and stuff. But he's like really on point about like this is who Trump is. You have to understand he's his own press secretary. He's going to tweet out where the fuck he wants to tweet out. And so you're just running like you take care of the little questions, he take care of the big ones kind of thing. So I don't think that was actually that big of a deal of an appointment. We'll have to see who puts in Treasury. My understanding is that Commerce is basically stitched up, and I don't know the lady that he's got like slated for that, but she's like, everybody's like, oh no, she's got it. I don't know who it is. So, but then, like most of the DOD stuff, I think the only question is, and I think the guys that they might launch the most missiles at is the Hexgath. So
Could be.
he could be. I mean, like, so I thought he was a Green Beret. He wasn't a Green Beret.
Wasn't a Green Beret, but
No,
he did.
he was a National Guard guy, and then he became a Fox News kind of guy. So we'll have to see. Now, the interesting thing is that he was both to the right of Trump on Ukraine when the initial invasion happened. He was like, no, no, fucking send all the things, kind of thing. But the same thing was true with his NSA advisor, who he picked right off the bat.
Right.
And so that guy's pretty plugged in. So, because that one doesn't require any kind of like Senate confirmation. So, like a lot of people are like hoping that we're going to have like this completely new foreign policy. I don't think that's actually going to be true. So, especially with like Marco Rubio and then his pick for NSA, the DoD guy. I mean, the thing about DoD is it's like a 2.2 million person department. So you can't put somebody in there who's going to shake the entire thing up because it'll buck you off like a horse. So, we'll see.
Sense.
We'll see.
No, that makes sense.
We'll see.
It makes sense. It seems like it has a lot of ways to fight you.
I think
I
think he's an easy guy to murder off for the Senate in exchange for actually like keeping like Gates. So,
but it gets you enough. It seems like it gets you enough consideration with the normies, like
exactly. Yeah. No,
yeah,
I think you're.
I could see
Yeah.
that.
So like, there's been some guys who've been calling. It's like, oh no, he's gonna shoot for 5 on this one. I was like, I don't think so, man. I think the Senate's gonna kill somebody off, and so the question is, which one do they kill off?
It's a great question.
So I don't think they're gonna kill off RFK Jr. for HHS. So that seems like Ben Carson are like, no, that's fine. So because otherwise he would have been the easy pick for that. So
do you think that he still has a place coming in?
He might. You never know. I mean, he could be in charge of like any one of the sub departments in HHS. So at that point in time,
right.
But that's fun. But he's also getting old. So
he is, but he's well liked in that community. It's
he's respected, and so I mean, like I could see Bobby Kennedy plugging him into something that like actually requires MD experience, but really when it comes down to it, Bobby Kennedy's going to do a lot of crazy shit, and so like I could see HHS like undersecretary going to Ben Carson, and nobody would oppose that. So
really, yeah, basically Rachel Levine's position.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but the DoD one is really interesting. I think like Hexgeth might have gotten put up as like, okay, go out there and test out where the landmines are, buddy.
Just be yourself, man.
Just be yourself, bro.
Walk out there and step out there. It's like, so what are you gonna do? It's like that. Just do your thing. Just go there.
Just do your thing, because
look lively, maggots.
Because if he gets blowed up, I mean, it'll be easy at that point in time to like, okay, so we can't confirm the NSA because that's or National Security Advisor, because that's at the complete discretion of the president. But he wants Tulsi Gabbard as his DNI.
Yeah.
And so if they blow up this fucking dude, then he's like, hey, what the fuck? What about her? I don't know, man. We'll have to see. So I've seen a couple different takes on this one, man. So my understanding is that Rubio is basically a fucking shoe-in. So at this point in time. So, and then the other ones, the controversial ones are Gates, Kennedy, and Hexgath. So one of those three will get fucking torpedoed. And I know like most of the deep state, if that even actually is a thing, wants to actually torpedo Gates. But if the Republicans and the Democrats like get together and they say, okay, fine, you can have fucking Gates, then they get to murder somebody else. And so my guess is that it's going to be Hexgath at that point in time. I mean, put a pin on that one. I might be completely wrong about it, but I mean, out of all of them, he's the least qualified. I mean, even like Noam for the Department of Fatherland Security. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, she was a fucking governor for almost 2.5 terms. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, and I mean, she did call out the National Guard a couple times in South Dakota. So, I mean,
Yeah.
as far as border policy goes, he's got his front man on that. So all she has to do is basically rubber stamp whatever that dude wants to fucking do.
Right.
So,
Right.
and that dude's not confirmable. That's an appointed position.
Yeah.
So she's just there to basically rubber stamp it, and she's Trump's type. So, I mean, that's an easy win right there. But the DoD one is really interesting. So
Well, it's interesting.
we'll have to see.
Yeah, yeah.
We'll have to see.
It's interesting. I'm gonna lean on Rogan's take on this here because he's a fairly, given how many people he comes across on a regular basis, he did say something very interesting about Trump in terms of like, he's like, I've kind of turned the corner on this guy, right? And he was the way he said it, I was like, this is very interesting. He's like, because the impression that you get from him is what? It's like kind of like a huckster, kind of like a kind of like a carnival barker.
Yeah, but not the kind of guy who would like, sell your mother something that she didn't need.
But that's exactly what he said. He's like, so when you sit down with him and you spend more time with him, it's like he's actually a very genuine guy. He's just like, he'll talk to you about anything, right? And once you start to get like on his wavelength, he's like, you get the sense that he's speaking with you honestly. This is where
Well, and Bill Clinton did the same thing. So
I think that's because I think Bill Clinton spoke a little bit more Washington language in terms of like, I understand what goes on here.
He learned it faster than Trump did.
Yeah, he did
for sure.
He did.
But I mean, he was always on the same wavelength. I mean, of all the presidents that I've seen, those two are the most similar. So,
In our lifetime, huh?
I think so, man. I mean, Ronald Reagan is too young. I was too young to really appreciate some of that. And I mean, some of him was always huckster too, but he was also like really like based in what it is that he wanted to do. And I think Bill Clinton was the same way. So is Donald Trump. It's the guys between Clinton and Trump now that you kind of look back and are like, oh, you guys just wanted to be there. Got it. I don't know, man. I might be wrong about that. So, and I'm loath to give Bill Clinton credit for much.
Well, anything.
Well, I get that because he's a dirtbag, blah blah blah.
I know.
But I mean, like he did grow up in a fucking shack. So yeah. So he did kind of like he was able to actually connect with like a large part of the electorate. And the last election, I mean, the hilarious thing is the Democrats now, like there's like, like rando elements of the fucking walkable city left that's calling election fraud here. And it's like, what the fuck? If you threw the last election, what the fuck happened this election? Did you guys forget how to do that? And actually, it turns out it's just like all bullshit, because really when it comes down to it, if you have a Republican president who is able to flip the popular vote by 7 million votes, I mean, up, down, like 7 up, 3 down, 3, 4 up,
right.
So
right.
two,
counting the gap.
So a 2 million vote difference, which, like a whole shitload of political scientists were saying that wouldn't happen for another 20 years.
Yeah.
And it fucking happened, to
the point where it was like the biggest blowout since fucking like Reagan.
Well, electorally in the college, but well, was it
for a Republican? Yeah,
bigger than Bush in 2004. I don't know, pretty close.
I don't think he wrecked John Kerry that badly.
He kind of did. Yeah,
I mean, it wasn't. But he didn't mop the floor with him. It was still a contest.
It wasn't a Mondale loss. So
no.
Yeah.
I think it's so. I think it's bigger than 2004, but not Mondale because nothing is Mondale.
Nothing is Mondale.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, same thing with McGovern. So yeah,
There you
sure,
go.
yeah. But still pretty emphatic. It's like, oh no, we're going this way. Fuck all y'all. So and I mean, even amongst like some more like left-leaning friends and stuff like that, they're kind of like, okay, fine. Got it. Maybe I need to go read more.
Well, look, there's something to that picture that I absolutely do enjoy, where they because all these guys, like fucking frat bros, they went to the UFC fights last night, and you're looking at Elon Gabbard and Trump and RFK, right? And the thing that they put on here that's absolutely true is they like right here,
Yeah.
4 previous lifelong Democrats, right?
Oh yeah, sure.
All in
Yeah,
charge of
yeah,
the Republic.
yeah.
And here's the thing: the thing that I like about that is, when you and I have talked about the reckoning of these parties here,
I
and
hate that word.
you hate it, and you're not
that
wrong to.
word.
That's yeah. That I think that's
It's on the ban list. In this house, we do not recognize reckoning.
Yeah. It's like well, the reckoning is actually reserved for the actual rapture. So
So we get lifted out of our seats and taken to the skies above.
exactly.
Yeah.
So if it's save it for the book of Revelations, or don't say it at all. But the same thing where it's like, all right, I like that because there's a sense of these are all people that come from the place of being disenfranchised Democrats, and I like that in terms of like. Which means you guys have a certain core that I identify with here.
And Bernie's been there in the last 2 weeks too.
Yeah, Bernie.
So, yeah.
Bernie's catching flack for calling people that mad. It's like, you guys.
Well, and the same
you
thing with
motherfuckers
like
have
fucking
lost
Senator
the plot.
Sloth. Yeah,
yeah.
Dude, he's great.
Yeah.
Dude, I got back on the Twitter. I surfaced the summary just to watch him.
He is who he is, man. He's
So, yeah.
ever since he came out of his like near death experience, he came out and he's like, it's like a Bulworth where it's like I can only speak the truth, and I don't have to rap when I do it, but I can only say what's truly on my mind, and he does. And sometimes it's like that's the thing is you come out there and sometimes he says things that it's like, wow, that's really based, and then other times it's like, okay, yeah, you are a Democrat, like you're through and through. I'm like, I get
sure,
it,
yeah.
but
no, like he still wears the jersey.
But I'm like, but that's
fine.
what all of you should do. Every single one of you should have like a component of you that says like, you know what? I believe in this. I believe in this. The party believes in this, but I don't. Right.
Yeah.
And I think everybody should have a component.
Quarterback.
Yep. This dude comes from the West Coast offense, and I'm sorry, coach says we're a running team, but it's like I get it, but that's part of his nature, And so there's a I love that part of Bernie that's like, you guys are fucking idiots.
He did do that the other day. That was delicious to watch. So
and then those fucking like 5 harpies on there, like, screw you, Bernie. It's like,
well, not AOC. She broke ranks there. So
AOC did.
I'm curious to see who else does. So but she actually did. So it was interesting. I did not expect that.
One of the things. So one of the things that this is a little bit of maybe people will remember this or maybe they won't. All right. So in the closing days, getting closer to the election, like 5 days out, Mark Cuban was requested to stop talking. Did you remember this?
By whom?
By Kamala Harris.
Nancy Pelosi and
by Harris specifically, because
she's so done. Anyway,
there's nothing for
her.
This you are looking at just like the
she might get a California Supreme Court nomination someday, but
she might, but she's like the Jar Jar Binks of
Yeah, okay.
It's like, you remember that one summer where this thing was everywhere? And
Right, yeah. It's on every Burger King menu. Yeah.
It's like, oh yeah, the thing with the really weird voice, and like, depending who she was around, she'd like go to a black college and be like, Misa thinks that you all should like be my
Right,
friends.
and then Misa sent it. Yeah.
And so she's sort of like persona non grata on that. She's $20 million in the hole.
I know, man.
But
that's on her party just as much as it's on her. So
the finger pointing,
she got freaking cooked
yeah.
by her own party. I got to give her a little sympathy on that. So
I don't.
I
think
get that, man.
I think she's
I get that, man. But I mean,
horrible
you get a
human
chance
being.
to actually raise your hand and like, okay, so like anybody can answer the question. Anybody. She was like, yeah, I'll answer it. Then you get torched on your answer. Okay, at least you put your fucking hand up. So I don't know, man.
That's really magnanimous of you. You
I'm
know what?
sorry, man, but I got to be that way with her a little bit, just because, like every one of her, like I watch this news show just about every day now, where they run through the daily briefing, where they talk about like, okay, what are all the principals doing? And for the last week and a half, hers has been the vice president will be in consultation with her close advisors and will not be taking any questions. So, I mean, yeah, exactly. I mean, like the whole fucking party moved away from her so fast. So, and that speaks more about them than it does about her. So,
I will give you that.
Okay.
Because you're right, that party is an extreme disharmony.
It is deliciously, I don't know. It's just they're
overdue.
Well, they're starting to see, and I'm seeing this with like some of the other guys that I watch who are a little bit more moderate, who always cut like Never Trump,
Yeah.
who are slowly turning into new Democrats. So I'm seeing that, and they're pushing those fucking lunatics out of that like left door of the party.
Hey, bro,
So,
you and I, all right, we said it a long time. You cannot stay at the party unless you chase out the girl. If you chase out the girls.
If you chase out the girls,
and you know what?
yeah. No.
They chased out the girls. They did not have enough women sticking around.
But you got to chase out the guys who chased out the girls.
That is correct.
And that's kind of going on right now, man. Yeah.
And when AOC takes the pronouns out of her bio, that means you are chasing out the guys that chase out the girls.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'm kind of curious to see what the Democrat Party turns into. So,
well,
it will be a minority party for at least the next 4 years, though. So
there are, well, yeah, and you're right. There are certain things that they have to decide. They're like the hills that they choose that they have to choose to die on right now, or they have to say like, all right, this thing about
women's
sports, we have to really make a decision on which way we go on this.
Yeah, exactly.
And frankly, the smart move is common sense, right? Because fuck it. I mean, and the same thing.
It's so easy to embrace that too, and then just take that away from the other side. I mean, there's so many like low hanging fruit. They could just glom easy. Easy. Yeah,
easy.
Right
where
now.
You say like, look, so you don't want to say, you don't have to say like we made a mistake, because nobody ever does, but you have to go out there and say like, we need to respect women's sports, but we cannot respect the way that the other side have been treating these people. They're not mutants. They're not.
Oh, that's easy. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like this is
not mutants.
Well.
So speaking of like stomping around the wasteland lately, but anyway.
Oh yeah.
No,
Are you knee deep in that?
No, man. We'll keep talking about politics. We'll come back to the.
Well, this is kind of like a slower like. We're a ways away from the good stuff happening. This is the preamble right now. We're not.
It is.
So we're watching the shit explode. So you've been playing that game?
So I had to backtrack to Fallout 4.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Well, that's weird.
I had to judge the gunplay between the two games.
Oh, it's better in 4.
Not much though. So,
I mean, it's still built on the same engine.
Is it?
It's a modified.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, I moved north from Good Springs, to the place where all the death claws are. And I got murdered.
Oh, you did?
Many times.
Do you like that?
No, because my guns break. They don't break in Fallout 4.
No, they don't. You have to. Well, they're
In
easy
Fallout 3, they break a lot,
all the time,
all the time.
and you have to basically. I mean, if you have extras, you just repair them on the spot. But
Yeah, I know. And the cool thing about Fallout 3 is you can make your own ammo,
yes, you can.
which is way better. So,
Correct.
Way better. Yeah. So.
And the actual skill tree is a skill tree. It's not. I mean, it is not this. The perk system in 4 is for boneheads. All right,
What do you mean by that?
Compared to like the actual system in 3 and 4,
Where you have to level up and everything before you can
you
use
level up
something. Yeah,
and you
okay.
put points into this and you put and options open up for.
They do.
I mean, look, Fallout New Vegas is one of the few games that actually has conversational answers
To everything.
So there is. Take that for what it's worth. So for some people, are like, this is the ultimate of gameplay. It's like other people is like, I feel like some people would still say no to this.
Okay, I got you there. Yeah.
That is an unacceptable request, sir.
Right. Yeah. It's just going to blast you instead. So the thing that I like about New Vegas, more so than anything else, is if somebody pisses you off,
Yeah.
what? You can just roast them. And then their dudes come after you. Yeah.
And you deal with the
And you
consequences.
deal with. Yes. And so I'm going to go that way over on I-95. This place is just filthy with you fucking Mongols.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. The only thing that I can't get used to is the aim down sight. The ADS is bad. So
It's not great. I mean, it's.
that's is badass, but like in Fallout 4, you get a lot more action points. You get a lot more chances than you do in Fallout 3. So I got killed by enough bloat flies
Oh my
and
god.
fucking mantises in Fallout 3 now at this point.
There's this. Well, used to blowflies, and there's this.
The geckos.
Well, the geckos, but there's also this like this flying bug. I think it's called like a calzador or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
And
yeah.
that thing will fuck you up.
Yeah. That and like scorpions come in fucking platoons. So-
They train, man. They're just like they're disciplined.
So, but it's so much fucking fun to run around in like the world where it's like, you know what, you're a dick.
That's correct.
I'm just gonna roast you, and whatever happens, It's fine. So yeah,
So
you guys took these slaves. What? You were slavers? Really?
well, let me tell you, sir, we fought a war over that,
Right. Yeah.
and I know you think that the wrong side
250
won,
years ago. Yeah.
but if you let down the barrel of my gun, I'm going to tell you that you're incorrect, sir.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so the one fun thing is, and like, I don't know, I learned this from Fallout 4 when I did my initial like special thing.
Yeah.
You got to do 10 lock.
Oh,
It's so much fucking fun, man. So you just go in there, you play a hand of blackjack, and it's like, oh, yay, blackjack.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes. The luck actually does impact. So you are correct. You can throttle the entire. You can wreck the entire New Vegas economy with luck.
Right, and they don't kick you out.
No, they actually reward you. They're like, you're doing great, man. You actually get the primo suite. It's like great. It's like, this is actually very New Vegas. This is actually very Las Vegas-y. And then the problem is that the rest of the game doesn't scale with that, where they're like,
No.
hey, I want you to do this for me. It's like, I will reward you handsomely for this. Like, really? It's like, how does 2,000 bottle caps sound? It's like, I don't roll over in bed. For...
Let alone across the street. Yeah.
Are you fucking crazy? You don't buy me, I buy you out.
Right. But then you fail that roll.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like rubber meets the road there. And I got see, the weird thing is like I do prefer the gameplay of Fallout 4 in terms of like it is smoother. The guns are, I think the actual like walking gunplay is better. Not VATS, the walking where you're like
VATS is the same. It feels the same. Yeah.
But then you say it's a weird question. You say, well, what do I care more about in the game? Is it the actual minute-to-minute gameplay or the interactions that I have with this world? I'm like,
it's the hilarious interactions that you have with people.
That is it.
That really make Fallout 3 much better.
And so you're wondering, it's like, why can't you idiots just actually put two pieces of this sandwich together?
I know, yeah.
Because when you look in comparison, when you do the story in Fallout 4 versus 3, you're like, you guys are fucking amateurs. You guys are
Fallout 3 is way better.
Children.
Yeah. No. So I've been enjoying it. I just haven't had that much time to explore. So because in Fallout 4, I just like painted, back and forth to see what was out there. So in Fallout 3,
New Vegas is not as big.
No, it's not as big, and you get ridiculously punished if you go someplace you don't, and you're not supposed to be there yet. Yeah,
you do. As a matter of fact, I find in New Vegas you actually do much more backtracking. I don't want to. I mean, where?
Oh yeah, no, I agree.
I mean, thank God for fast travel, but I mean, like there's so much of the game is go here, and if there were no fast travel, if you were playing this like an actual man, where they're like, no, you actually have to walk the destination. I'm like, fuck you in your game. Because you're like, yeah, because you'll go into this, so it's like, well, you need to go have a discussion with this person. He's like, this guy has a crush on this girl. It's like, go talk to him. You talk to him, 3 lines of dialogue. All right, can you go tell her this? I'm like, yeah, you know what? No problem. Because I can go to the Pip-Boy and go to this place, no problem.
Yeah.
If I had to walk this, fuck you and fuck this quest.
It's a hike. Yeah.
I ain't doing that.
Yeah.
Now, it's worth it because there's no penalty to do that.
No.
Right?
No, you don't get the random encounters that you do in Fallout 4. So
now you can get some weird ones. If you turn on the whatever it's called, the
Wild Wasteland.
Yes.
I turned that on, and it's hilarious.
You'll get some goofy shit in there, but
weird shit.
Yeah.
So, but I'm getting there, man. I just haven't had too much time to fuck with it lately.
And bro, I'm with you. If it had an option right off the jump where it's like, look, do you want to deal with weapon decay? I would say no.
I would
I'd be like,
totally turn.
Sir, I respect what you're trying to do with this, but this is not.
Oh, especially when you get some good guns and they're almost busted.
They're almost busted, and you can't find a replacement.
No,
yeah,
you can't. Yeah.
Because there's no version of this where you can just say like, all right, well, I don't have a replacement, but here I can go out to this bench and just pound on it a little bit until it's straight.
No.
You gotta have the.
No, but playing Fallout 4 again, it's like, oh fuck, I ran out of ammo again. I gotta switch to a shittier gun.
It's weird. It's weird. Yeah. It's a weird limitation. Yeah.
It's completely different. Yeah. There's just like, oh, there's a reloading gun. She was like, great, I got a whole bunch of shit in my pockets. Let's turn it into bullets.
There is a guy, and he's not wrong on this. There's a dude whose channel, his YouTube channel, is based off of evaluating the guns and the mechanics of this stuff, and he's like, so I've come up with these solutions. I've done these things with these mods and stuff, and he does have a point. He's like, well, so first thing I'm going to take is what am I actually putting into these guns, and what do these bullets do? And he'll start with like, this type of gun with this caliber of bullet would not do this little damage, right? This is ridiculous. This is like, why would you put this in? I'm like, I hadn't really thought about it. Then I'll go ahead and like look up that gun on GunTube and see what this stuff is, and it like is like, oh, okay, well, actually, it's a good point because it goes this far into the jelly block. You know what I'm talking about.
With the lamb skull in it.
Yeah. Don't even act like you don't know what I'm talking about.
I know exactly what you're talking
about.
Yeah.
It goes like all the way through 2 blocks and almost penetrates the cherry Coke on the other end. It's like
the Nuka-Cola. Yeah.
I'm like, he's got a good point. Why would you use this gun in this capacity? He's like, you should put this here. And when they're talking about like, well, the difference between like a submachine gun and a machine gun or whatever, like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. It's like that's why they're oh okay. It's like, so this gun should do this. I was like, this is genius.
Yeah.
And he'll just like fiddle with this shit and I don't know, man. It's a weird thing. There was this thing they were talking about with game developers, and they're finding that a lot of people in the industry now they're working like 50% of their staff is working on their first game now in the big studios.
Yeah, I believe that.
The big Western studios.
Yeah, I believe that.
And there's this thing where they just have no perspective on that kind of stuff. They're not like, am I wrong? Like if I go back into like
right.
the older games, like wasn't part of the games like the enthusiasm that came from the like if you had like Aces Over Europe or something on it, like I guarantee you some dorkwad in there was just kind of like, I don't need to get the book to look that up, asshole. Just ask me.
Are you talking about the P-51C or the P-51B?
There's a difference. Oh my god.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Okay. So
6 machine guns versus 8 machine guns. So this one had the fucking Merlin engine in it. Yeah, exactly.
I feel
top
like
speed of 551 knots. Yeah.
Is that a lot?
That's a lot. What the fuck? That's twice that of a Messerschmitt. Yeah, exactly. No, I get that, man. No, I'm starting to see that a little bit because the last couple like big deal RPGs that I've played, you can kind of tell when game devs don't have the background, where they haven't played games like Fallout.
Yeah.
So I'm starting to see this one with Fallout 3 in particular. We can do whatever the fuck you want to do. You don't have to go do all that shit.
For all of the hazards and benefits it brings.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but then I played like Red Dead, GTA, Red Dead 2, even The Witcher, where they're kind of on rails.
At least funneled. I'll say it that way.
Well, The Witcher is more so funneled.
Yeah.
So Red Dead 2 is definitely on rails.
Yeah.
So GTA 5 is definitely on rails. So you can go do some weird fucking shit, but eventually you have to do this like heist.
Yeah.
You have to play as Trevor, and you have to like get in the fucking submarine, and you have to do like some of these things in order to actually.
You have to get your boat back. You have to
get your boy back. You have to chase down your daughter on the fucking yacht. All that stuff. You have to do all that stuff.
You have to do the set pieces.
Yeah. But then I remember like the older games like Baldur's Gate, where you don't have to do any of that shit. So, I mean, if you want to, you can, but you can get like to a level like fucking 15 and then just walk through the last like fucking story missions in the last 2-3 hours of gameplay, and then just basically like wander around like the entire place and curb stomp everything. So, and that's fine. So even Dragon Age was kind of like that. So
Dragon Age was
Dragon Age, you could play it to the point. Well, I never played the previous 2, but I played the third one. What was that? Inquisition.
Yeah.
Where you could get to the point in time where you had Skyhold.
Yeah.
And you can go around and just clean up all the maps.
That is correct.
And you could rule over your kingdom.
And that was the game.
Was the game.
Have I swept this place from top to bottom? Have I seen everything that the game wants to show me? Because it's up to you. Yeah. You're like, all right, so I will.
How many dragons are left?
How many dragons are left? How many? Do I want to wander around with a different party composition to see them yak about something stupid? Right? It's like, okay, that's fine. That's fine. I get.
But you didn't have to do that.
Hell no.
And you could actually level up to the point in time where you could just blast out the last 2 Solas missions with like, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring my fucking Nerf I'm gonna bring my foam bat.
Oh, yeah, your foam bat. You're just kind of like, what is that thing? It's like, I don't know what it's called, but like, after you wrap all the gifts with it, there's this cardboard tube. And
I'm gonna kill your god with it.
check this out. Like, after you bonk somebody with it and it gets soft in the middle, then it kind of like unravels, then it becomes nunchucks.
It becomes a two-handed weapon.
You know, it's the most disappointing boss fight in history where you just...
That one was, actually.
And again, that's the...
Where you just green laser that dude.
It is what it is. I'm not gonna like knock it because I mean that's part of the game. But that's the experience. But yeah, there is some, like, I can't imagine like how pissed you would be as a designer. You're like, wow, I have seen the data and 75% of people skipped like the best quests that we worked the hardest on.
Yeah, exactly.
Because we couldn't make it part of the main thing, but still.
Well, and I mean, GTA 5 was kind of like that because there were some optional things that you could do that were way more fun than the regular stuff. So, but still, at the same point in time, if you actually wanted to progress, you had to do the main stuff.
You did, and I'm not going to say, so the set pieces, they were always funny. I mean, that's the thing is, like, they were...
Well, that game was the best as far as humor goes.
It was, but I mean, also the other component was, like, making the humor yourself, because there's like, the connective tissue is whatever fucking trouble you got into in between.
Oh, well, and yeah,
I mean,
you're getting quite a bit.
You get, I mean, that's to me, that's always been the falling point of the other GTA games that I used to play was like getting caught up in my own stupidity and forgetting to, like, I don't want to go for it. I don't want to play the next thing. But there was enough like stupid stuff to...
You know, the game that actually, like, I felt the most like reluctant to actually engage with the main story was actually Witcher. So
kind of, yeah.
Yeah, because it was like, oh no, there's other shit to do around here. Let me go do that shit.
It's usually way more interesting.
Actually, Cyberpunk was really good about that too. So
yeah,
you could get into a buckload of like bullshit with Cyberpunk, you know. But then eventually you got to the point in time where you had to go like meet Hanako and like in the nice restaurant, and it's like, actually, you know what? I'm pretty happy being a badass, even though this chip is melting my brain. So I'm gonna go do every last little fucking side quest that I can fucking do. So the game will actually force me to go to this in order to actually get any more content.
Yeah, you're not wrong. There's a
well, and that was the whole thing about Phantom Liberty. You go through that entire thing. It's like, this was awesome, and it's like, God, I gotta go do the main quest. You just show up and you just fucking melt Adam Smasher.
Yeah. Well, especially in the first version, he is tougher in the updated version.
He is
much tougher. But this, yeah, you're right, because there's parts where it's like, what have you been doing? It's like, well, I've been boxing these dudes called the enemies, and
with my gorilla arms. Yeah,
with my gorilla arms, I think I've kind of declared myself sort of like a semi-racist, where it's like, if I hear that whack Jamaican accent in that area,
you guys are dead.
I shoot on sight.
Yeah, you guys are dead.
And, so it's like, so what have you been doing? It's like, well, I've been sitting here at this bench for like 4 days, eating these takoyakis that I really don't like.
Eating this shitty yakitori. Yeah, exactly.
You jump in, it's like,
good, you're finally here.
And then you jump in, it's like, I don't think they're really that bad.
Yeah, they're pretty good. Yeah, no, I just like eating them. It's like, yeah, what's wrong with this?
They're really fresh.
He keeps talking to me, and it's like, just take another bite.
like an octopus flavored hush puppy. It's not bad.
Yeah, and we got to go fight your guy with the laser arms, and it's like, pink.
When it comes down to it, like in the main quest, like there's really only like 7 like big events that need to happen in that game.
Right, yeah.
I mean, maybe there's more, but it's like the first one that takes a while. That I think is actually to the detriment of the game. It's like...
Which one? The actual Jackie dies. Yeah.
Because that's so not representative of the game itself. No. Because the game is fucking around.
No, the last time that I played that one, I put off that mission as long as fucking possible and did every last little thing that I could do in Northglenn before I actually did the Jackie mission where he dies. You know,
smart.
And so at that point in time, I was a fucking badass. And then when the rest of the map opens up, it's just like, okay, let me go do all the things before I run through, fucking, Samurai Bob's missions. He was like, meet me at dark. It was like, let's meet him now. So, because I got nothing to do, man. I've already got the cat. I've got all the guns. I've got all the gear. I've got all the tech. So he's
I
like,
have
oh,
clothes
it's going
that
to be a
don't look
really tough
retarded.
mission.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, sit here, eat your fucking shit yakitori. I got it. So, So,
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah,
well, you got to talk to Hanako. I was like, fine.
yeah.
It was like, fine. It's like, is she free tonight? I've already got this fucking, like, goddamn lightsaber of a katana.
The swords were fun. Like that was
Swords
so
were so much
super
fun,
fun.
man.
Yeah, yeah. And
Yeah.
that's it's weird because like at this point, even though people can say like, especially with this, I was like, well, it doesn't really seem to scale as much as like traditional RPGs. I'm like,
What, Cyberpunk?
yeah, but I
Yeah.
can also be like, I had so much fun with it. Like
I had way much fun with that game.
it's almost to the point where I say like this should be the standard of what you're aiming for
Well, and if the story wasn't on rails, it would be great.
or if again if this is where I have to applaud like the New Vegas setup is like yes there's so much. Nothing in that game feels like a scripted cutscene. Nothing feels like a
That's
script
true.
except for the beginning where they're saying, "All right, so we have to start the game." You're like, "Yeah, it's like there's no ways around. You got to get shot."
Go test yourself on this machine.
Yup.
And then,
Yup.
like, 5 hours in the game, it's like, wait a minute, that didn't matter. It's like, wait a minute, I leveled up how fast?
Yeah. So there is something to that where you feel like the game is just it's the game, and frankly, there are like in that game. So there's some main outcomes, but there's like 200 different outcomes when it comes to how you solve this game,
Yeah.
and they're all different.
Well, and like Cyberpunk, there's like 4 different endings. I've done 2 of them. So,
I didn't even get to do the really cool one.
Oh, where you just go ham?
Yeah,
Yeah. I only found out about that one when I went on YouTube.
yeah.
'Cause I was like, this is bullshit ending. So, different endings. They were like, we'll just wait for like 2.5 minutes.
If you did all the stuff that certain way, that's
You did all
I
the
have
stuff.
to go back and well, look, I'm not gonna pretend like it's like oh my god, like look at how difficult my life is. I have to play this game over again. But
Oh,
if
yeah, the
I,
game is so much fun though. So
I'm tempted to go back. But I mean, again, it's a time sink. It's I
so
know
pretty.
it's so pretty.
So pretty.
It still runs well on like everything. Like this is the shitty thing is I was looking at the specs. There was a while when I was like looking at pricing out like a 4090. Like there's not that much of a spec difference and not that many games that will take advantage of it.
No, not really.
So
So they're already coming out with the 5000 series chip soon. So
that's I was like, wow, I'm gonna skip this whole generation, huh?
I
It's
think
like,
so,
maybe.
yeah.
And
So
it also
I'm still
depends on
running
what's
at
coming out
2070,
afterward.
man.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I'm looking at building a new machine next spring, and it's like, okay, so there's 5000 series chips out there. I can get a 4080 Ti at that point in time for like
Exactly, yeah.
what I would pay like 4 years ago.
Unless they're well, and I bought all mine during the the mining craze, so I paid premium, but but that being said,
It doesn't matter if you're gonna run fucking New Vegas. The game runs so fast, I had to actually like nerf my machine.
and that is qualifying, yeah, not just nerf the machine, but it's like, but I'm also gonna run any like, are there any mods in here that make y'all look, I don't know, human?
All right, so I've gotten used to it. It's not that terrible.
It's not terrible.
It's not like Half-Life bad. Come on, man.
Nothing is. Yes,
Okay, fair.
but there is something to be said of
I'm
like,
not stretching the skin over a 4 polygons face.
no, well, you're not looking at Odd Job's face or some shit where it's but still there is a. I would argue that the Starfield people looked worse than the Fallout New Vegas people.
I would agree, just because they're much more fidelity defined, and oh my god, stare you down like, yeah, it's just it's like weird. If a bank teller looked at you like that, you'd be like, actually, I'm going to go somewhere else.
Right.
Yeah,
Right. So, you know what? I
exactly.
will
Yeah.
use the ATM.
I'm going to go use it. So, and man, there are very few games out there that I wanted to love more than Starfield. So I love the idea behind it. I actually did
Yes.
play. I tried No Man's Sky for a little bit.
Yeah, you did, didn't you?
There's just nothing there, man. So it's procedurally generated. There's no story. There's no interaction with NPCs, which is unfortunate because at least Starfield had that.
True.
So, but like the moments in Starfield where you're like, oh, what the fuck? What is this? Once you
Moments of promise, yeah.
once you did one or two of those, and then you showed up at another one, it was like, wait a minute. Yeah, this is an Arby's. I've been here before.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, you got the same curly fries as the other one does. Yeah.
So this is the same restaurant I went to in St. Louis and the same one I went to in DC. And
I know, man, but like the most mileage I got out of that game was actually building a fucking warship. And then once I built said warship, it just fucking mollywopped everything. So, and it was like, hey, this is kind of cool, but what else you guys got? And there was nothing.
again,
So-
the promise of something that should have been way more interesting.
Oh, and they were so close to actually having a decent story, and they totally fucked it up. So,
Yeah, I can't
like
imagine.
none of your
man.
decisions made any difference.
Not
It's
the
like,
slightest.
okay, don't like these guys, like these guys, doesn't matter. You're gonna save them. It was like, cool, okay. Yeah, sorry, you were involved in some bullshit. This guy's like your antagonist. Okay, I'll help him.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's okay. Why did you do it that way? I was like, oh no, piss you off. You're like, it's okay. I still love you. I was like, fuck off.
Well, especially when the game goes, it's like they tried to put this into this forced sort of drama where you're like, well, actually, by making this choice, you are condemning this other person to death. I'm like, I didn't take them on a single mission.
Yeah, not my
sorry.
problem. Yeah.
Like, I don't care.
Oh yeah, no, that's such like a convergence point right there, and like some dude dies, and you're like, okay,
These things happen. Well,
right.
so first you're like, you just like, I don't care. And then the whole point of the game is like, do it again. And see.
Right, and
like,
again, and again. Yeah.
Huh. Well, actually, if you're going to do that, you should have basically been picking these guys off one by one, like Saving Private Ryan.
See, that would have been better.
That
That would have been way better.
that same kind of like vulnerability is like, shit, no one's safe. And then to come back and say, like, if the game was to come back around and say, like, can I do things differently? Can I, like, if I were attached to these people,
Right.
could I actually save their lives? Is there something that I could do differently? Should I do something
Especially
differently?
if you get to etch a sketch out the thing.
Yeah.
Right. See, they had a great premise going on there. They just fucked it up.
Well,
So-
that's one of like 25 premises where they're like, y'all need to like, so like in blackjack, when you're gonna split, you make one good then the other, right?
Right.
Right. So if you have 8 over here, you don't deal to them both at the same time. You say
Right.
like, no, you got to do one thing well, right? And until you do that well, you can't add more stuff. So
You don't get another hand. Yeah.
that's correct.
Yeah.
So there's this component of there are like 25 half-baked ideas where if you cut 10 and focused on some of those where it's like, all right, we have this kind of really cool thing going on with the spaceship building. It's like, yeah, you do. You do. In fact, I can see that the system is there to do that.
Well, same thing with base building, but it was dumb. It had no.
What was the point? Yeah. it's
Exactly.
like-
Yeah. Well, the same thing in Fallout 4 is like, why am I rebuilding the fucking shit wasteland?
because you had a personal connection to it
I-
that was weird. That was
I did, but
way beyond what.
yeah, but like none of the houses ever got better. They're still made out of garbage.
There's still look. There's a. There is a component, yes, you and I will agree to this, where it's like, well, until I can actually install indoor plumbing, this place is still.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like you guys are still just minutes away from dying of bubonic plague.
or fucking tetanus. Yeah.
You're right. Yeah, you're like, you guys are prairie dogs or tetanus away from
Yeah.
all of this being a waste.
See, I think they fucked up Starfield because Starfield, like, there was a couple things in there, man. Like, okay, so the multiple timelines was really good.
That should have been the game.
It should have been the game, but the other thing is like the whole idea that humanity is scarce. You know, but every planet you went to was littered with fucking space trash.
Yes.
So, you know, it would have been much more interesting if you landed on a planet and you were like, holy fucking shit, there's other people here. You know? So as opposed towards like you're landing and there's a whole bunch of abandoned shit here because there was some kind of war, dick quotes, war.
Right. Right.
You know, kind of going on.
Yeah.
Because there were a couple of really cool set piece places on in that universe. So there's a whole like battlefield that you had to go visit. You know, where it was like all dead mechs and stuff like that. And it was like, oh, that's fucking cool.
What happened here?
What happened here?
Yeah.
I want to know more about this. But it was like, oh no, just go grab this and then go back to your ship. It was like, okay. So, you know, like when you're going through like The Witcher, like it was like, oh, these people are fucking traumatized. You know?
Yeah, that's true.
And that was like, okay, you guys live knee deep in shit. Okay, like the fact that your daughter is missing from this village is a big fucking deal. You know, they could have done that in Starfield, but they didn't. And then the other thing about it was like, you know, like you go to this place and it's supposed to be like fucking Night City, and it's fucking oil rig.
Anything but. No,
It's anything but.
Yeah.
And so if you jump back into Cyberpunk and you actually live in Night City for a little bit, it's like, okay, I kind of get what's going on here. I get that I'm not going to like fix the city, okay, but I can kill this guy and then I'll make this girl's life better. So let me do that. Okay, I can fucking like shish kebab all these guys, you know, with my raptor claws. Okay,
Right.
because they're fucking psychopaths who rip out their own fucking frontal lobe, fill them with electronics. So yeah,
But it's not their fault, because that's just how you make it here.
but that's just how you make it here. But you shouldn't eat people.
A real hard and fast line about.
I get a really hard and fast line about
that's
that.
it. You know, it's just-
Yeah.
As soon as you see human beings treated as meat, you become. It's like
It's
fucking. This place is like, all right, man. Like, mom just came home. We better clean this place up. You get upset. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, that's the thing. It's like there's more personality in 2 blocks of Night City than the entire game of. And The Witcher's the same way too, because you get in The Witcher, like you go down a couple of streets and you see like the design elements, and people are like, you start seeing undercurrents of like racism and classism.
yeah.
But you don't have to get involved. You could just be like, well, you know,
It sucks to be you.
it's like, hey, bro, you know, I don't like him either.
Hey, bro, I'm a Witcher. Not my
The
business.
truth be told, look, I had a bike, don't have a bike no more because they walked off with it. I don't like them either. You know, it's just like,
Should have put a chain on it.
all right.
All right.
There we go. Okay.
All right. Anyway.
Any last thoughts?
No, man. I mean, I've got a little inkling to actually get. I found a couple courses on C++ and C#,
Jesus Christ.
but actually like learning how to design some of this shit. So I've been thinking about it a little bit. So we'll see. To be determined. So that might be the next dog leg of my career, though, man. So
Brother, I can't put anything into programming language because I'm still learning Japanese. I'm 2 years into that.
Japanese.
Yes.
Okay.
I still do that for about an hour every day.
Is that kind of your hobby?
It's my other. It's yeah.
Yeah.
It's,
Okay.
It's,
Yeah.
This is something. Yeah. It's that, and it's also my future investment.
Okay.
because I do know that there are opportunities that if you actually are fully bilingual in this, that you have certain like the pace skyrockets, where it's just kind of like
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. And so
I don't know, man. I'm at a point in time where I'm actually like on the hunt for a new hobby. So not something that I'm going to turn into money someday, but just a genuine
well, this is
hobby.
a hobby in and of itself.
Yeah, but like, I bought a couple model kits and stuff like that over the last couple of years, and I'm just not into it
it's
anymore.
weird. It's weird.
Your hobbies change over time.
Dude. It's the same. I'm sure you did this a couple of times too, where you bought a game, you started at 15 minutes, you looked at it, and you're like, why isn't this doing this any for me? It checks
No
all the
Man's Sky.
box of
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
should like, but
yeah,
it's
yeah,
just not turning my crank. I
yeah,
know.
yeah.
I know.
So I don't know. I'm kind of on the hunt for a new hobby. So I'm gonna try programming for a little bit, just
Hell yeah.
funsies.
Oh,
Yeah,
hey, you learn that language. I'm working on mine, man. It's fine.
fair
It's
enough.
fine.
All right, I'm Pat.
I'm Jeffrey.
I'm hitting the
Yeah.
button.